Hello everyone and welcome to my first book haul of 2021. My mic probably hates me right now. Why am I clapping? So we are kicking the year off with some more books. Some books I purchased, some books I was sent, and book boxes and things like that. I do want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Book of the Month. Book of the Month is an online book service for readers. They provide a curated selection of new and early release books each month for members to choose from. They have some amazing selections that feature a plethora of genres such as romance, fantasy, sci-fi, literary fiction, nonfiction, and historical. I mean, the genres are endless. There are 5 selections each month for members to choose from, and you can skip a month anytime you want without any penalty at all. You can also do add-ons for each month as well in case you're interested in some of their backlist books, maybe missed out on a book in a previous month, or some of their extra selections. If you're interested in trying Book of the Month out for your very own, now's the time to do it. You can use the code NEWBOOKS at checkout to get your first book for only $9.99, which is an amazing price, let me tell you. So all the links will be down below for you to check out Book of the Month for your very own, which I highly recommend you do. Now, first up with the books I'm going to talk about today are the January 2021 Book of the Month selections. First up, we have The Prophets by Robert R. Jones. This is a historical literary fiction, I believe. It says a singular and stunning debut novel about the forbidden union between 2 enslaved young men on a deep South plantation, the refuge they find in each other, and the betrayal that threatens their existence. So it sounds like it's going to be a hard-hitting historical read that's going to be very, very important. Next up, we have one that I am most excited about, and that is The Dating Plan by Sarah Desai. I read the first book in this kind of series, I guess you could say. You can read them as standalones, but this is, I mean, the cover is just gorgeous. So this is about a character named Daisy who is a software engineer, and she's of Indian heritage, and she can't supply her family with like the marriage that they so desire. So she decides to ask like her crush to be her decoy fiance, and so his name is Liam, and he also learns that his inheritance is contingent on being married. So he realizes that his best friend's little sister has the perfect solution to the problem. So it's like fake dating. You can guess what happens. I'm sure it's going to be super romantic. Next up, we have a thriller, and that is The Survivors by Jane Harper. So this is about a woman that has it says that her life has changed forever on a reckless mistake led to devastating consequences and the guilt that haunts her. And basically a body is discovered on the beach and long-held secrets threaten to emerge. With thrillers, I learned the less you know, the better. Then we have another kind of historical western, Outlaw by Anna North. This cover is also super intriguing. So this takes place in the year 1984. It's about a girl named Ada who loves her husband, and she is practicing to be a midwife, but after a year and no pregnancy, she's scared because they like literally hang women for being witches and like not being able to get pregnant and stuff. So she bands up with this wall gang led by this guy named Kid, who is decided to create a safe haven for outcast women. And I'm guessing it's gonna be a lot of root toot and fun. Is that the right word to say? Probably not, but it sounds really fun. And the last book we have is The Removed by Brandon Hobson. So this book is a literary hard-hitting fiction. Like when I read the synopsis, I was like, get your tissues ready for this one. This is about a family that has lost basically their son Ray Ray, and it was 15 years ago in a police shooting, and it's all about the Ekoto family who has just been suspended in private grief, and each one of them has different ways of dealing with it. One of the kids has just gone off to drugs completely. Another one has kind of secluded herself and just falls for guys after guys after guys, and the family is just suspended in grief. So it says, drawing deeply on Cherokee folklore, The Removed seamlessly blends the real and the spiritual to excavate the deep reverberations of trauma, a meditation on family, grief, and home, and the power of stories on both personal and ancestral level. So there you have it. Those are the 5 selections for January for Book of the Month. Or if you're interested in checking out any of these or any of the many deep backlist books that Book of the Month has, the link will be down below for you to do so. Highly recommend you do. Moving on to the books I purchased. I purchased quite a few because I have a problem, and I got a gift card or so for Christmas. That's what you do when you're a bookworm. You spend it on books. So the first one I bought, I talked about a lot. The Sky Beyond the Storm by Saba Tahir. This is the 4th and final book in the Ember and the Ashes series. I've already read it, did a whole review about it. I cried immensely with this book, so yeah, such a good series. So bittersweet that it's over. Next up is one that has been on my, like, you know how you just have books sitting in your cart for a while? It was one of those, and it's By the Book by Amanda Sell. This is a YA contemporary. I love the cover. goodness me, any books that have books on the cover, like I'm just drawn to it. It says a novel of pros and cons. Get it? Pros. So this one is about a girl named Mary who loves classic novels. And so she says, so it says, when some of her new friends seem in danger of falling for the same tricks employed since the days of Austen and Tolstoy, Mary just starts compiling the Scoundrel Survival Guide using archetypes of literature's debonair bad boys to spot red flags in dating department. But despite her best efforts, she soon finds herself falling for a supposed cad, the one she told her friends to stay away from. It sounds awesome. I'm not like big into Shakespeare and Jane Austen and stuff. I know I should be, but I'm not. But it sounds really cute. And the next book I bought is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I've been eyeing this for forever. It even won the Goodreads like romance award, which I was like very shocked by because I didn't think it was that romance heavy. But apparently this is like vampire-y. I don't know if that's accurate, but a lot of people have been recommending it to me lately because of my love for vampires. But this thing is big. It's like over 600 pages. I don't know much about it. I just want to go into knowing that maybe it's vaguely about vampires, and I'm good with that. I plan to read it this month, so hopefully I'll enjoy it. Fingers crossed on that. Next up, speaking of vampires, I found this gem of a book. It's called Fangs by Sarah Anderson, and this is a graphic novel all about a vampire and werewolf falling in love. And I was just like, I have to get this because I love vampires so much and any sort of romance, and I'll probably save this for Halloween. I mean, look at it. It's like red and black. It's beautiful. I don't know. It was just definitely an impulse buy. But I mean, come on. I got to keep my vampire love up. And the last book I bought is I Want to Be Where You Are by Christina Forrest. I read one of her other books last year called Now That I Found You. This is a YA contemporary about a girl named Chloe wanting to go to dance school, but her mom kind of refuses. So she decides to like hitch a ride to go to this nearest audition, and basically she's chasing her dreams down the East Coast with 2 unwanted passengers in her car to do so. It sounds adorable. I really loved Now That I Found You, so I'm super excited to read another one of her books. Moving on to books I was sent. First up, my dear friend Amy from Amy Reads kindly sent me a Christmas gift of How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams, a book that I read earlier this year as an e-arc, and I love it. It's one of my favorite romances of the year. It's about this woman named Naya who doesn't really live life like really, I don't want to say frivolously. She just doesn't do a lot of things. So her friend's like, you need to get out there. You got to do some things. So she decides like, hey, I'm just going to pick up a stranger at a bar. And what do you know? That happens. And then it develops into a full-fledged relationship. And it's just really adorable romance novel that I just devoured a ton. So highly recommend checking out if you love those ooey gooey kind of steamy romance books. Next up from Forever, they sent me an arc of Accidentally Engaged by Farah Haran. This one comes out in March, and it's all about this girl named Irina. She loves baking and things like that, and she basically refuses to marry anyone who works for her father. But then a baking opportunity of a lifetime presents itself, a couple's cooking competition with the prize of her dreams, and she'll do anything to win, even ask Nadim, the guy that her parents want her to marry, to pretend to be that they're engaged. But of course, it says, when it comes to love, baking your bread doesn't always mean you get to eat it too. It sounds adorable. Baking, fake dating, yes and yes. Next up from Harper Teen, I have The Good Girls by Claire Eliza Barlett. So this is a YA thriller, and all it says is a small town murder, a dark secret buried beneath layers of lies. And at the center of it all are the good girls. Go ahead, look at them in the eyes. Ask them why they did it. That's all I want to know. The cover is very intriguing. We got a knife. We got secret lies and then somebody dies. Sounds really interesting. Speaking of YA thrillers, Disney Hyperion sent me a couple books. The first one is Influence by Sarah Shepard and Lila Buckingham. So if you don't know, Sarah Shepard wrote the Pretty Little Liars series. I read some of them. I watched the show, not in its entirety. And so this is the newest one. It's all about a video that goes viral. And get ready for a twisty mystery that takes place in the fiercely competitive world of influencers. The sun is hot in California, and somebody's gonna get burned. I don't know if I'll read this or not because I think I just don't really jive well with Sarah Shepard's writing. Time will tell, we'll see. And the other one they sent me was Lore by Alexandra Bracken. So this cover is freaking stunning. So what I've heard about this one, basically, it's Greek mythology meets the Hunger Games. Color me intrigued. You may deny the fates, but they will not deny you. Fighting them will not save you from what is ahead. It sounds really interesting. The cover alone like really wants to draw me in. So I mean, I might have to check this one out. I haven't loved the past few Alexandra Bracken novels she's released, so I'm just gonna have to feel it out. Then from Gallery Books, I have Shipped by Angie Hockman. This is a novel that comes out this month that I'm reading this month, and it's like the summariest cover ever, and I should probably save it for summer, but I'm not because it's cold and I want this, you know, warm to get here. I'm gonna invoke it in this book. This is a hate to love romance that takes place on the Galapagos Islands, pretty much. These two people that work together, that love each other, get sent there to do something, and of course, you can guess what's gonna happen. My favorite romance trope is hate to love, so I'm gonna hopefully really enjoy this one. I'm really hoping so. I've got a lot of expectations for it. Then from Sourcebooks Casablanca, they sent me a couple books. The first one being Happy Singles Day by Anne Marie Walker. This one I believe is out, and is Singles Day is apparently February 15th, which is awesome. I also think Valentine's Day is great too. But this is about a girl named Paige who loves being single. She doesn't need any man to tie her down. Good for her. But then she goes to like this bed and breakfast place, and this guy named Lucas owns it, and he's got a daughter, and then the worlds collide. If both can survive the week together, they might just discover exactly what they've both been missing. So I'm sure you can guess what happens. It sounds really cute, like a Hallmark type of movie. And the other one they sent me is Enjoy the View by Sarah Morgenthaler. So this is the sequel, the third book in the tourist attraction series. So I haven't read the second one, Mistletoe and Mr. Right. So I need to do that before I read this one. But this one is a grouchy mountaineer, a Hollywood starlet, and miles of untamed wilderness. So this is like, if you really love books set in Alaska, this is a great series to do it. My complaint is I think they're a little bit too lengthy, but they are cute. So I don't know much about it other than what I just told you, but I'm going to check that out. They also sent me a really awesome planner, the Amy Knapp planner for the Very Busy Planner, and it's based on the #1 best-selling organizer. So this is awesome. I already have a planner, but I'm going to look into this. I think it's really nice they sent a planner because they're speaking directly to my heart. Speaking of planners, I actually got a reading journal sent to me. So this company named Kinitso, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want a reading journal? And I was like, yes, because I was actually thinking about using a reading journal this year. I have a planner, my Happy Planner, that I love and I use for everything, and I combined. And I was thinking this year I'm going to journal just for reading. So this has everything you need in it. I've already started filling it out, like books to read. It gives you pages where you can write down your book reviews, and it's just going to help me track everything. It has a DNF thing. It's just very organized, and I think that I'm going to keep like everything in here, mainly because I notice every year around December when I start like trying to prep for my statistics videos and things like that, it takes forever for me to like get all the info. And I'm like, I don't want to do that again next year, like to struggle that much. So this should help me like organize it and have it feasible and just like, you know, just be better organized, because I love being organized, but I can always be better organized, I guess. I don't know, but I'm super excited about that. So thank you to them. Oh, another gift I got. My husband got me this for Christmas, a prayer journal for women, 52-week scripture devotional and guided prayer journal. He knows how much I love doing a devotional in the morning, and so he got me this. So I'm going to start this, well, you're seeing this in January. I'm going to start this as soon as January 1st hits, but it's really very thoughtful and I really enjoy it. And I have from Sourcebooks again, The Castle School for Troubled Girls by Alyssa Shymel. So this is comes a dark psychological contemporary novel about a grieving teen sent to a mysterious boarding school where nothing is quite what it seems. So boarding school mystery on there. Before I get into this big stack of book mail, I have 3 books from Owlcrate. So they had like 2 special boxes come out this month. #1 being a special edition of How the King Stole Eltham by Holly Black. This is kind of a short story collection all about Prince Carden. I need to read it, but it's really beautiful. So that's really awesome that they sent it to me. It even has a reversible dust jacket. I mean, any excuse for more Carden and Jude, I'm there for. And then they had another like full-fledged box called the Winter Wishes box, focused around a universe of wishes. This is a We Need Diverse Books anthology, and it has a whole bunch of short stories in it, and I love those. So I am very, very excited to read this one. I think even, yes, look at that. So pretty. So our crates definitely spoiled me this month. They're amazing. And then just in their December box, they had These Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which I am also reading this month. This is a book set in 1920 Shanghai, and it's basically a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, and I'm so excited to read it. And then Simon Teen sent me like a whole box of books. I'm not even kidding. So I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. First up, one that's already out is When You Were Mine by Veronica Searle. This actually was released years ago. They're just having a reprint of it. It's like a really dark kind of YA contemporary retelling about Romeo and Juliet. I should try to read this one this month too. Then we have a whole bunch of ARCs. First up, coming up this month, is The Mute Cute Project by Brianna Richardson. And this one says, To All the Boys I've Loved Before meets Save the Date in a sweet hijinks-filled rom-com. I had not heard about this. It's all about rom-coms. So I'm going to read this. I mean, like, the cover alone, like, I love it. Then we have one that I'm most excited about, and that is A Faux Love Story by Lone Lee that comes out in February. Another type of like Romeo and Juliet, maybe not, but it's basically about two competing families, and they have neighboring faux restaurants, and it's about Belle and Lynn who avoid each other, but then they bring them together. It sounds super adorable. Like, goodness me, so adorable. Then I have Glimpsed by G.F. Miller that comes out in January as well. And this is Charity is a Fairy Godmother. So that's interesting. And that's all I know. And there's a character named Noah. I have such a hard time reading books with characters named Noah because my son's name is Noah. Then we have Bruised by Tanya Bocha. This one comes out in March. And this looks like it's about, a roller derby book. Oh my gosh. Remember the movie Whip It? I love that movie. So this sounds awesome, like kind of similar to that. And then I have Your Heart, My Sky by Margaret Engel. This one comes out in March as well. And this takes place in summer 1991 in Cuba. And a chance encounter brings Leanna and Armando together. So can love feed their souls and hearts, but it is enough to stand El Purito Especial. Hopefully, sorry for pronouncing that wrong. Sounds amazing. And then we have Your Corner Dark by Desmond Hall. This one says things can change in a second. This guy named Frankie gets a scholarship letter and his ticket is out of Jamaica. So basically it's all about him figuring out is he going to leave Jamaica or not. We're almost there. A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This one is choose your player, the Ironborn, half fae, outcast, her royal family. So it's like a fae type of fantasy book. I'm horrible, I'm sorry. This one, I love the cover. In Deeper Waters by F.K. Lukens. This one is Pirates of the Caribbean and the Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. So a swoony, high-worthy sea adventure. I'm there. And then the last one is Knots and Crosses, which is a show on Peacock, apparently. I'm so behind on TV. Sephi is a cross, Callum is a knot. They've been friends since they were children. In spite of a world that's fiercely against them, these star-crossed lovers choose each other. Sounds adorable. So thank you, Simon, for sending me literally a box of books. So that is all the books I have for you in this very first book haul of 2021. I'd love to hear if you're interested in any of these, if you're going to read any of them, and things like that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm super excited for the year to just read all of the many, many books. Bye.